Hey, what's up, Sandy? At least two of us are here.
I have to unmute. I was coughing, hacking my brains out.
This is our weekly group show.
I know.
Duo.
I texted Jake. I'm like, okay, hey, are you coming on the show?
Geez, doxing.
He hasn't answered. No, there's no number there.
Well,
he hasn't answered me.
I hope he's okay.
Me too.
Andrea at least said, weird. I might not be there, but I might be, but I might not be. Maybe.
I know. Hers was funny.
It's like, oh, okay.
Hers was funny. Well, it's been
non-committal.
It's not even a funny day, but what can you do?
I don't know. I mean, agreed, but
none of them are funny. I mean,
what are you gonna do, man? I mean,
we go from one crisis to another, to another, to another, and then all the jerk offs on maybe I shouldn't be using bad language.
Jerk off is not a bad language.
Okay,
a bad word. I mean,
clueless morons. Then they all come up with their conspiracy theories and clueless. All right, it's Stu, it's Harp, it's all this shit. No, it's too many people. It's overshoot. It's climate crisis. You know, I mean, I'm getting really angry today. I got really angry today. I actually had a little to do with Adam McKay.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, because
he's one of
he said I said I went on Twitter today because I was watching what was going on. And I said, yeah, and it's overshoot too. And he's like, well, no, it's not really. Oh, yes, it is. So I went and asked Lyle Lewis, who is an evolution, a biologist and a wildlife biologist, ecologist. Yes, we have overshot our planetary boundaries. There are too many people, too much building in areas we have no business to be, So Adam was like, okay, well, he didn't say anything back to me. I don't care.
I have been.
This movie is good.
I'm doing. I mean, he likes my comics.
That's good.
Retweeted my comics.
Me too. It's that argument. I said I'm not arguing with you, but it is overshoot. Read the book.
My thing was
okay.
Yeah, so I'm streaming 5 days a week, and that requires 5 days of prep. Well, I don't really have to prep for this show, but I'm prepping for tomorrow's show today.
For this show.
Which is pleasantly right smack in the middle of the week. So it's sort of a day off, but not. But anyway, I'm fighting that fight, right? Like I am prepping for a show tomorrow. We're going to talk about a Trump appointee that nobody's talking about, but we should be. It has everything to do with privatization and not caring for the planet, not caring for our future, not caring for it has everything to do with that. And so I'm like, fuck yeah, man. I'm doing this piece. I'm going to put the word out, right? We're going to talk about it. Mondale Robinson's coming on the show tomorrow to talk to his new project, which here, I'll just flash that on the screen real quick so everyone has some idea of what we're doing tomorrow at 10 a.m. right at the top. We fight grifters and empower change makers. Blackmaleequity.com. Check that out right here tomorrow, 10 a.m. So this is like, I'm seeing what's going on in the news. It's atrocity after atrocity. It's disaster after disaster. They're talking about getting 3 inches of snow. The only time we're going to fucking get snow in South Carolina this year. And it could turn into freezing rain and it could knock out the power. We have a weak infrastructure as it is because of Hurricane Helene. So we're preparing for the worst. during winter in South Carolina, which doesn't seem like it should be a fucking thing, but
It's a
so
thing.
it's like ongoing, but I've already got my head down working on something. I've already got my head down working on putting the word out or organizing or talking about organizing or how to do, you know what I mean? So it's like we have that outlet. We have that. I think if you don't have that outlet, you're doom scrolling, you're coming up with weird conspiracies, maybe. There's all kinds of shit going on. You're kind of wallowing in it. And this is why during the leading up to the election, like especially Andrea kept saying, you know what, if you want to vote third party, just start a podcast. That's the best way to get your voice out there. You know, it's like essentially the same
Right?
thing, right? Like
Mhm.
just start a podcast. And we were telling everyone to do that. We'll promote you. We'll use you as a guest or a pundit or whatever. Like, let's all, find an outlet, basically, is what that means. But if you want to mix it up with Adam McKay, hey,
Hey,
I think
I asked him to come on the show. He's been on a couple of other shows. I
he was
just
on movie
haven't.
night
I
extravaganza.
Yeah, well, because he's in the movies. I mean, that show is
He was
pretty
on
good.
Movies versus Capitalism. I've been on both
Yeah.
those shows.
Yeah. I haven't been on any of them. No. No. But yeah, I asked him. Maybe I'll bring him on. I don't know. As long as he's not mad at me for overdoing
Hey, get his
overshoot.
email. Get his email. Hey, man,
Alright.
if he doesn't want to chop it up, come on.
He
Get
might.
off Twitter, dude. He's way too vocal on Twitter to back down from a debate. You know what I mean? And we're
Well,
not going to gang up on him.
there's really actually no debate for me. It
Well,
was the context of what he said and then what I said, because I know what the overarching picture is of why, besides fossil fuels and besides government inaction, I mean, if you look at the science and you look at the research on the planetary boundaries, and we can't, I gave you that graphic I made, is that, we are overshooting. I don't know if it's going to get any better.
let's put that up. Well, no, it's not. But I mean,
Yeah.
the fun part there is at some point people will really stop giving a shit. And you know what? In movies, they always make it like, oh, and then society got really bad and people turned on each other. No,
It's
there's only like
like,
400 rich people that are ruining everything.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
why would we turn on each other? That's
Is it
ridiculous.
400? Is it 400? Okay.
I always hear like 400 are the 1% or something.
You can't have infinite growth on a finite planet. Overshooting Earth's boundaries could, and I X'd it out, has led to more extreme weather events, mass species extinction, food insecurity, and potential, ongoing disruptions to human societies. And that on the bottom there is the temperature gauging, how we've gone up and warmer. So, welcome to the show, guys. Nothing like bringing it up for the night, huh?
Hey, fuck it, man. Who cares?
Okay, man.
What are we
Well, we
supposed to
just
do?
lost.
Just be like, there's nothing going on. Everything's fine, you
No, and
guys.
and our friend on our community, Kevin from Black Bear News, lost his house. And
That's
yes,
horrible.
thousands of other people are in, and animals, and we're gonna, if you're gonna donate anywhere, please donate to maybe the Pasadena Animal Shelter or someplace there. That's what I do every time there's one of these, but I don't have, infinite money. If I did, I would be um completely donating, to do these things. Well,
Leaving
that's
this up
nice,
there.
Bob.
Look,
He-
and to this point, debatable.
yeah,
I'm
there we
just
go.
kidding. I'm
Debatable.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Just kidding. I love being that guy. Look, one of the funnest things I've ever done on here, which I overdid and then felt like I just wanted to only do this from now on when I come on air, is I was pissed off at somebody in the chat. It was from your chat, I think.
Oh, it's usually my
This is
chat.
recently. Well, because they come after me, but I was saying
You're too
like,
nice.
I was like, what do you want us to be? The kind of host that comes on here and goes, there's nothing we can do, you guys. I started this podcast to let you know
We're
Nothing we
fucked.
can do. There's nothing. And great ideas in the chat. Guess what? I don't think they're gonna work. Sorry. I mean, we're not doing that. We're also, not going to be the kind of host to come on here and go, "Hey, everybody, everything's great. Don't worry about it. It's not that bad. It's just a fire. They'll put it out. It'll be
Right.
fine. It's just
We're
the
in the
rich
middle.
people. Fuck them."
I don't tell people not to do anything on my channel. I don't do that either.
Yeah.
I just know what
It would be funny if you did, though. If you're
No.
like, from now on, I'm just going
No.
to sit here on camera and be like, well, yeah,
We're fucked.
there's
Oh,
nothing to
well.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just reading comic books all day. Like, fucking, I don't care.
There's always something to do.
You know what's funny? This is fucking weird, man. So we had like a VP running for president, and all of a sudden HBO is like, "Hey, everybody, watch Veep." And I was like, that's weird. It's like you're giving us fiction to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's happening in reality. Like, this is fucking weird. Don't do that. Like, we know Veep, the show exists. You don't have to do it. So then today, because there's like snow happening everywhere, I don't know, whatever it was, Hulu or Apple TV Plus or something, is like pushing snow stuff, like Frosty the Snowman. And I was like, really?
Are you kidding?
This is corny. But
Well,
and
I
so
won't
I
say that.
watched it, and my brother texted me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, watching Frosty the Snowman, if you can believe it. It's like the middle of the day. And he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I was like, "No, why?" And he goes, "'Cause I'm watching it too." And so then it's like, apparently he like did a deep dive on it and found out like a whole lot of stuff. Like, they had like an extensive backstory for Frosty, and it was like this kind of like, it was supposed to be way more involved and artistic, and it was one of those deals where the studio just kind of played it down or like dumbed it down, just made it like a kid-friendly cartoon.
Right.
But like they had this whole like thing where, because snow slows everything down, they had this whole angle where Frosty had like this obsession with never being late. He
Never
always had to
being
be
late.
on time and stuff. Yeah, you know why he and like do you know why he said he never wanted to be late?
Why? You're gonna tell us.
I set that whole thing up and then blew it by laughing. Because time waits for snowman.
Oh God. The dad jokes
No, but
are early tonight, guys.
But they really did. They really did have like a whole separate character. Like, he had a dog that they wrote out of the story. Yeah, he had a slush puppy.
Well, anyway, it is quite a conundrum out west, and
It's
the
not,
news.
though. We know what it is.
Well, we know what it is, but the news
What
is
to do,
that
maybe.
the clueless idiot that's the mayor wrote a budget and wrote out changed $17 million and took it away from firefighting during the goddamn Anthropocene, where everything's burning up in California, and puts it towards the cops. So what? So the cops can kick out houseless people, homeless. I don't know.
So the cops cannot clean up the streets from trash to like do the sand. It's just they didn't say the cops need it so they can do this stuff. They said, we don't care about this stuff. We don't care about sanitation and fire. Look now. Check this out. Laura Estrada, longtime member of the community. Hi, everyone from fiery California. I'm in Pasadena and had to evacuate last night and sleep in our car. Schools have been burnt down. My Pasadena high, maybe as well.
I saw that last
night. We are
night.
yet to know. Still no power. That's terrible. Hang in there. Okay, so like the no power thing for me personally during Hurricane Helene, by the end of it, I was like kind of getting used to aspects of this. I could live like this. Fuck power. We can get by. It would be nice to have a refrigerator, but we can manage, right? We can. There are aspects of it you can get used to. In the winter, rough. In the winter, because of fire, worse. Because now, shelter at a minimum,
right,
is at risk. It's really, that's tough.
Laura, is your home okay? You evacuated, but is your home okay? Laura, I know Laura from all the chats. It's this is just going to happen all the time. And we're constantly almost like post-traumatic stress disorder. Every time something happens, it comes back. There's a guy that I follow that I know who does a website. He went through the Paradise Fire. And he was on today saying, oh, pretty much here we go again. And I said, are you okay? I was thinking about you today. You must have a bit of post PTSD. And he's like, no, I went through therapy, but he also works it out by writing. So, Laura's home is okay. Okay, good. Because, yeah, our friends didn't.
I think
Mm-mm.
my commentary and thoughts on these situations, capitalism and politics, more and more they'll get me banned from YouTube if I say them out loud. Do you know what I mean? But what I keep thinking is no one does anything, no one in power does anything to safeguard against people being triggered in the worst way possible, right? And I think everyone can just imagine for a second what I mean by that, in a violent manner. And I was talking to my dad about this, and this is not a dad joke, but we were saying, I said, well, Dad, when they send you off to war, why is it? And he goes, oh, well, it's this and that. And I said, yeah, but they always say it's because there's like this one dude or one regime that's like hurting all these innocent people, and we gotta stop them. Fucking look around.
Yeah, look around,
Just the same
exactly.
people hurting a bunch of innocent people, but because they're domestic, nobody does anything about it. And I'm not saying,
No.
I'm saying in the worst case scenario, a citizen or an average person would be triggered into doing something violent and terrible, and I want to avoid that. And we've seen that with that healthcare CEO. They took his ass out. But like, damn it, all you need is like a couple of laws and some policies to like avoid all of that, and they just don't fucking do it.
No,
You
it's
know what
not.
I mean?
It's not because it's what we are living through is the age of outrage. Constant outrage, constant the edge of your seat. Uh, and when things are real, it's denied. And so people would rather spread shit, anti-science shit, and be outraged over things that don't exist rather than deal with the reality of what exists. But we're living through the age of outrage, and that's by design, and fighting each other. You know that meme where it's really not the left and the right fighting each other. It's on purpose by those 400 people that you say the billionaire class wants us to fight,
Oh,
when
yeah.
really what we have in common is that we're all trying to just get by,
And like
and others are just brainwashed.
fighting this system turns into us defending people in the system who are, quote, fighting for us, but actually just maintaining the system, which is already racist,
Yeah.
homophobic, anti-climate.
Yeah,
So
there you
it's
go.
like, oh man, yeah, we got to rail against the system. Let's elect this person to do it. No, they're now in the system. Like this, I don't get it. And so we forget that we were railing against this system. And so in my mind, I'm always like, do we tear it down? Do we work with parts of it?
It's tough because when Trump, even though I said I wasn't going to say his name, the orange turd first ran and he won in 2016, and some people were saying, all right, well, let's just burn it all down and we'll start over. Well, how did that go? Look where we are now. Burn it all down, start over, people. Because
Yeah,
it
there's
did. And that was before he won. They were saying, well, if we burn it all down, because they hated what's her name, Hillary. And it didn't make any sense to me.
all demolition, no carpenters. That's what they say. So like what we need is the carpenters to go first and say, this is what we're going to do. Because right now you have a whole bunch of us saying we got to tear this shit down. Okay, then what? What you need is carpenters and architects from our side out in front going, here's our plan. Here's our drawings and schematics. This is what it should look like. We're going to have a room over here with a door, and we'll have a big window over here, and we'll have parking up front. And here's your electrical outlet. We need that for government. We need to be able to have somebody to outline all of that. And it's too easy to say, well, just do it like these other socialists do it. Like, no, you're going to have to show me what that looks like here, where capitalism is like, it's the epitome of capitalism, right? And necro-capitalism. I want to see what that looks like. And then it would be awesome to be like, okay, we can tear it down now. Let's fucking go. We all grab sledgehammers and we tear this shit down. You know what I mean?
Down. Yeah, but
because right now you just have people saying like, no, it's really bad. We need to tear it down and start over. And that's bullshit. That's
it's obvious that's
supposedly
not
populist
happened.
bullshit. Yeah.
So when did anything start over? When the Mayflower came over, and what did they start over? A genocide.
Like immediately. Yeah, I love
like immediately. We've always been great. Let's make America great again. Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of SNL
next.
Some sort of sketch or comedy bit where, I mean, I guess we could do it right here, right now. It's just not going to be funny. But like when, I always imagine, because it just hit me one time as like a teenager where I was like, hold on a second, this is all bullshit. Like they didn't discover something. There were already people here. Right. So now I just imagine these fuckers getting off the boat going, look at this land. There's some people over there. Anyway, we found this.
We found it.
No, who are these fucking people? There's already people here. You didn't find shit.
No, but
and then they go all the way back and they tell their queen, we found this awesome fucking spot. We found it. It's a good thing we went out there. Nobody would have found it.
Yes, but they were white. I mean, it still goes all the way back to then. They were white. They wanted the land from the savages who really had a better lifestyle than any European at the time. Anyway, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world. But are we turning it into a doomer, man?
No, I got to tell you something.
What?
Yeah, well, you got to keep us updated, Laura, where, in chats, our various chats or discords, wherever, we need to know that you're all right. Andrea and I went live Friday for a special episode of Left Past 10, as you know, and did the hot sauce challenge. Look, just let me tell you, there was a moment where I didn't know that I disassociated. I only knew when I was done disassociating. Like there was a moment where I was like, oh, whoa.
So hot.
What the fuck happened? Like, wow, where was I for? How long was I out? It was like really weird. Yeah. Oof. And it was, there were 3 of the hottest hot sauces I've ever had, and I doubled each one.
Which one was the hottest? The one that Carrie made? Oh, the bomb.
I put the one Carrie made on the bomb. From the 7 pots, bubblegum red peppers. So here's what happened. I just want to let everyone know, I've never heard Andrea sound more sincere. Okay. After I said, well, we got to go. We got to wrap this up. I had done 2 shows and I was hurting. So I was like, let's just go. And then when the credits were rolling, I'm sitting here like standing up at my desk, leaning over, going, oh, I'm going to be sick. I got to get out of here. Hurry the fuck up. Because I wanted to say goodbye to Andrea. And I was like, Andrea, I'm really uncomfortable. I got to go. And she was like, okay. And I never heard her sound, because normally she would just make fun of me like, oh, you're weak. And I'd have to hang up and go. But
she knew. Said, okay. She knew.
So I immediately, this is graphic. Not too graphic, but I'm going to tell you what happened. Go for it. I immediately, I ran straight across the hall and puked, right? And that didn't help because it was the hottest shit I ever ate. And it
burned you. Oh my God.
And so then
I can't do that.
I went downstairs because I didn't want to wake anybody up because this was going to be rough. What happened was, right where your esophagus meets your stomach, right? It's like the center of your torso. This is also like where guilt and shame resides. You know what I mean? When you're like, I feel sick, or am I just
I'm
guilty?
so well acquainted with that area.
So it was as if it hurts right now. By the way, I fucked myself up. I've hurt every day. Like I'm in pain from it
But you
right now.
said, "Oh, we're gonna love this. It's great."
I said we
Maybe
were gonna we no. Actually, what I said was I'm not good at handling it, but I like it.
you like it. Ugh,
So this was more than I'd ever
can't do
done.
it.
And like I'm telling you right now, it feels like I was stabbed last Friday night in that spot.
Yeah,
Here's
because you're
here's
raw.
technically what happens. Acid starts to build up immediately, and all that hot sauce is just sitting there. And your stomach liner starts to convert your esophagus into your stomach. It
Mm.
starts to change the bottom of your esophagus into the top of your stomach, like it's like a hostile takeover, literally.
Oh, Lord.
And that is very painful. And so I was sitting there on like in a fetal position on the floor of my basement. It's a nice furnished basement. It's not like I was in a
Yeah, but
dungeon,
I'll
but I
for a
was like
joke.
for 2
Mm.
hours going, oh, like could not. I was like, I might have to go to the
Did
emergency
did you
room. I
have
cannot drive.
Pepto-Bismol or anything like
It
Pepto-Bismol
was
or something?
upstairs and I couldn't move. It was that bad. It
Well,
was
where
so
was
bad.
Carrie?
I was about to text her and wake her up, but
Oh,
then I crawled over to the
oh,
bathroom, Ralphed again. Now it's
I'm
really burning. Like
I'm
all that hot
hurting.
sauce is back.
Oh, man.
And then it
I
finally
watched it.
stopped.
You were a
It
very
stopped.
good actor on there then
Well,
because
no,
I
it wasn't until
after.
the second I decided to end the show was
Oh.
like I knew something bad was happening. So, and I had eaten cheese and everything. All that was like,
Gross.
so you know how everyone's like, oh,
Ah,
you're going to be hurting the next day. There was nothing left for the next day.
right.
I was just dehydrated, the same as with a hangover. So anyway, yak the second time. Now I go over to the couch and I just put on like tennis. I'm trying to get comfortable. And I'm laying there like, okay, feel all right. It's like 2 in the morning
Oh,
now. I'm like, I'm better. I think we ended the show at like 11:30 midnight.
yeah, I watched it.
But I
I
was
think I
like,
fell asleep.
okay, I'm all right. I feel better. And then it started to hurt again. And I was like, oh, what does this mean?
And
Uh,
doing this to yourself on purpose. That's like,
yeah.
oh my God. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And they
Remember if
say
Jake and I were gonna drink mushroom teas?
that one hot sauce
Oh,
says to
Lord.
only use like a teaspoon and mix it in with shit. Don't
Yeah,
like eat wings with it.
right.
But
So,
anyway,
what did
so
Andrea do? Did she do the same, or didn't she have
she
something
didn't have
different?
that one.
Right, it didn't come in the mail, or
She
they
was very cool, texting me, being like, how are you? Are you okay? I hope you're okay. And I was getting back to her like with huge gaps between. And I was like, I'm all right. I threw up all night. But the third time I threw up, I was fine.
I didn't know you were that sick.
The
Holy
third
crap.
time I lost it, I was fine. No more pain, except I can feel it.
You're not
Like
gonna do
I've
this again, are you?
fuck no. I haven't even had
Oh,
black
jeez.
pepper. I haven't had any salt,
Good,
pepper. I've been
good.
eating blanche. I've been drinking ginger tea with honey. I was scared to have lemon, like all kinds of stuff. But so anyway, I feel, I bounced back. The whole next day I was down. It was like I was completely like I had hot sauce
Oh,
poisoning.
poor baby.
It was like hot sauce
You
poisoning.
did. You
Yeah,
had it, and you may have scarred your
I think
innards.
so. Yeah, because I
Jesus
can feel it
Christ.
right now. It's right,
Oh my
right.
god.
And so
There
anyway,
there's someone in our chat.
I've been taking Pepsid AC every day or
Oh,
whatever it is.
something. Bila Lou Greasy, who calls himself
Pepsid,
Bila.
whatever that. Oh,
He's
Bella,
okay, well, he's been to my home, and, when I had my party in 2018, he brought peppers. 2 guys brought pepper plants as a gift. They were hot. I can't do hot, and that's the last time Bella, that's the last time. He's had many. His Kenny he had a name Osama number 5. Hilarious. Oh, you had the comedy act they did? him and Sam from Collapse Chronicles when
Huh.
Bella played Osama number 5 and number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like how many Osamas were there? It was so friggin' funny. I have to find that video. But he brought the hot, right? Right, Bella? You brought the hot stuff. I
This
can't eat it.
I gotta tell you though, this is not. This is probably just a joke, but look, my wife grows every year. She grows 24 different varieties of hot peppers. I eat those things like raw, and I sit there going, "Whoa!" I'm not
But it wasn't like
an
this.
amateur. What I did was the Pucker Butt Pepper Company is a couple hours away. I ordered their hottest Carolina Reaper sauces and the bomb. I had these veggie nuggets. I did 2 of each, and we dabbed them. So we poured the hot sauce. They were cooked in it, and we added hot sauce. My wife made 7-pot bubblegum red pepper hot
And
sauce
she
from a
eats it.
fucking mash, and I was putting the mash on the bomb nuggets. Nobody does that. That's not the amateur hour. That's fucking yeah, I know. It's Stuart. I know you were joking. I know. But I'm using it as a chance to be clear. This was something that experts would say, don't fucking do that. Know what I mean?
Right.
And I got fucked up from it. That was really like, I'm a little worried because I can still feel it.
Can you get high off hot sauce?
That's what I'm saying. I disassociate. I should have clipped it,
Like
but I'm
you
afraid
said
to
that.
watch.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You'll
Andrea
have
was
to
like, "What do you
wait
mean? What
like a
happened?"
year from now.
She's like,
Wait for a year.
did you disassociate?" And I was like, "Huh? Yeah.
It was
Oh,
like you
what
were
happened?"
on drugs. Mhm.
Because I was sitting there for like, I don't
Well,
know, could have been 10 minutes, and I was sitting here going, "What the
I'm the
fuck?" I was
biggest
just like, "Ugh."
baby. I could never do that. I'm such a baby. I won't even use anything hot. A little bit of pepper. I was like
I mean, I went through my life
particular.
being like, "What drugs? Okay, let's do 'em. I did acid or mushrooms every day for like 2 years.
Okay.
Or no, rule
Well,
first, a solid year every day I tried them. And for 2 years, I was doing it as much as possible. I actually did that in my life. So
well,
it's
God,
not
a
like I
lot
was
of guys,
afraid,
a lot of
but
guys. I wasn't
I'm
afraid.
scared
I
now.
I grew up in the time
I'm really scared
of
now, Stuart.
liquid LSD and
Oh, yeah. No, I've been there, sister.
purple dot mescaline. So I
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
afraid, but I was always very, very good at handling and choosing when I would do those things. But I mean, I've had times when I was in New York City at a concert and we had to take the train home, tripping our brains off, just peaking at the end to get in the subway and take the train up the Hudson River. I mean, back then, I think the latest train was 220, the
I
220.
love taking the train up the Hudson River.
Tripping?
I would do that. Yeah, well, because it's kind of
When you're
boring.
14?
Like, you're like, "There's Poughkeepsie, man. Holy shit. Hey,
Yeah.
there's West Point,
Yeah, that's
man."
way up. Yeah, that's way up. That was past our stop.
We
We
went
weren't
up
that far from the
to
city.
Dia, the museum. It was an
Oh,
old
yes,
Nabisco
yes, you
box
told us. I
factory.
remember you
Yeah,
told us this story.
that place
Yeah,
was cool. Hey,
yeah.
do you wanna play a little game I made?
Well, you said we were gonna play a game.
It's silly. It's just like, what would you do if, or what would here, I'll let me just give
Does
you
it
the premise.
require my memory to be sharp?
No, you don't have to do
'Cause it
shit.
sucks.
This
Alright.
is the thing. Okay. I was just thinking of this doing the dishes. I don't know what triggered it, but I was like, "Well, I'll ask on left past 10. I'll see if anyone has an opinion."
Alright,
Okay.
let's go.
I don't want to offend anyone. Um, who maybe if you're Christian, great. I don't, by the end of this, you'll realize I'm not being offensive.
Yeah.
I'm just giving people the heads up. Please don't
Ew.
get triggered at the beginning. I'm not doing
Nobody's
anything
getting
rude.
triggered. I can tell you now.
Okay. Imagine that Jesus Christ came back to earth and it turns out all that stuff was real, right? there really is a Messiah and he's returned. And not only that, but like the whole planet is immediately better off. The earth begins healing like right away because people stop doing mean stuff. They stop doing bad stuff. Everyone's like, well, Jesus is here. We should be on our best behavior, right? So, like, there's an immediate ripple effect where people just take it upon themselves to be better and everything benefits from that, right? Like,
Okay.
it starts to smooth out right away.
Right.
Like I said, the earth is healing. Your boss isn't like being a jerk at all. He doesn't care if you're late, doesn't care if everything's being cool.
My God, your boss isn't being a jerk.
And within like a day, like 24 hours, 48 hours, everyone's breathing easier and everyone's chilled out. War done. It's not like Jesus came down, said, I will end war. War just stops. Everyone
Okay.
agrees.
Okay.
Stop arguing about religion, fundamentalism. So
All right.
it's better than you could have fucking believed, right? It's amazing. Now, what is the one thing Jesus could do in favor of? Like, what's the one thing he could be in favor of, or the one thing he could be against, opposed to, that would make you say, yeah, fuck Jesus, he can leave. We'll just go back to the way it was. Like, I have
After
an example.
all that good stuff,
I have an
after
example.
all the
Yeah.
good stuff, of course you're gonna give us the example.
Like, you want me to go first just
Yeah,
to like throw out an
go
example? Okay.
first. Yes.
So
Yes.
so
I'm fine
everything
with that.
so it's like, Jesus is back? What? Really? Oh shit. And then like a couple days later, you're like, man, this is fucking awesome. And then like, Jesus is like overheard saying something like, you guys are smoking marijuana? That's dumb. Nah, that's going away. Snaps his fingers, no more weed.
Oh,
I think I'd be like,
pissed off.
what'd you do that for? He's like, I didn't mean for you guys to smoke that. And be like, yeah, fuck you, man. We'll go back to the way it was.
All right. Or, well, Jesus could become the champion of all police and and give the police carte blanche to do whatever they want. But see, the thing is, going back to how it was is how it is.
What if
What
what
if?
if he goes,
Uh,
it's like Jesus is like holding court somewhere and everyone's like sitting there listening, and it could be anywhere in the world. And he's like, you know what? I think we should make America great again. Be like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, I don't know. Just if you can, do it.
let's just make
And
it
be like,
great.
you know what? No, you're being dumb. Get the fuck. That's okay.
I feel a comic coming out of this.
Well, this is the point of
I
this is the
see your
point of the game.
artistic wheels. Yeah, I definitely
One,
do.
it's fun to think about because you're like, oh yeah, I guess there would be some deal breakers, right? Like
Mhm.
if Jesus was like, oh no, like tsunamis, I can't stop that. You know?
Okay,
I
what if
could
it
walk
was,
on water, but I
what if
can't
it
make
was
it not be a tsunami.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You'd be like, well, then what are we?
could have been
Hey,
Moses. He parted the water.
well, but it had to go somewhere. But like, I'm just
He's
saying, like, a
he's got a
year
journey.
in and we still don't have healthcare. I'll be like, yeah, we're healthier, but I do just want to like know what my A1C levels are. Like, can I go to the doctor and not have to break the bank? What's going
Oh,
on?
Lord.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the point. This is the point. Like, it would be fun to think of so many. Yeah, and Bob Carmody says he beat Brown, so deported very quickly. But like
Yeah,
this,
that's the typical one.
the point of the little exercise is that humans, for all the bitching and commiserating that we do, seem to be very happy with or seem to be very tolerant of the way things are. We act intolerant, but like, what changes? Why
Has
aren't we
that ever happened?
empowered? Huh?
Has that ever happened in
What?
human history that humanity was tolerant? Has it ever happened?
Well, no,
Maybe
but I'm
in
saying
certain
like
indigenous societies.
these
Mhm.
people keep getting away with the same shit. Things
Yeah.
don't really improve, or they're like, small
Just
improvements that don't really do anything in the big scheme of things. And I just think like this little exercise is to show that it wouldn't take much for people to be like, hey, it sucked, but we were getting by with the old way. The Messiah can go now.
the
You know,
Messiah can go now.
why can't we have
Oh, wow.
everything be awesome plus weed? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I smoke weed to not come down from my
Right.
bullshit job, but to like enhance my already great day? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just
Yeah.
feel like our world is conditioned to take away. No matter how good it gets, it's never going to be that good enough. And we're so conditioned to live in that world
Right. True.
that
We
we
are.
would say, you know what, go fuck you, man. You walk on water and the rest of us are still swimming. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know where to go with this. I really don't.
Well, like what if Jesus was like, you're not allowed to have dogs as pets? Or I don't know, it's something so
Something
like silly
silly.
that, or like Jesus was like, you know, everything was great. And everything is maybe this is offensive, and I said I wasn't gonna be, but sorry. But like, what if everything is just like, you know, like I said, smooths out. It's very chill, amazing. Everyone's like, "Fine, this is great." I didn't believe in him, but I'm glad he's real. This is fantastic. And then he starts showing up in like Apple commercials. You know what I mean? You're like, why is he doing that?
Did you say you're high on hot sauce?
Well, what the
No, but
fuck is
wait a
he?
minute. But what about Allah? And what about all the other the gods?
Doesn't I don't
Zeus.
know. Maybe
What
they'll
if
come back
Zeus
too. There's all kinds of
Zeus came
possibilities.
back? What if they all came back all at once and said, "We're tired of watching what you guys are doing to fuck
In
everything
this
up, and
scenario,
we're gonna give you all the good stuff."
it's just
Yeah,
the
I know.
one.
I know. It's just the one. I'm diverse here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But what if he was, I don't know, what if he was like,
What if he just was not what anybody thought or
yeah,
thinks
because
that
that's
they
really
think?
the idea is that
Yeah,
he returns and everyone takes it upon themselves to, well, it's not like, you know, it's kind of the same concept of having an adult in the room,
right,
but now it's like the
right.
Messiah is on the planet. Like we all kind of go, okay, let's be on our best
I
behavior.
thought it happened.
But
I
like you
thought,
start to get really happy and everything's great. And then Jesus is like, no, this marijuana thing, that's gone. Be like, fucker, we had CBD and salves and I'm relying on this. And are you gonna
yeah,
touch
we
me
were
and heal
doing
me? How,
great
what
with
the
our
fuck?
thing, which makes me cough. Well, let me ask you.
Or what if
I
he
mean,
was like,
I had
no more birthdays?
this no
Like,
more
those birthday
birthdays.
things are dumb. Man, we're not
You're
doing
gonna,
that anymore.
you're gonna get old anyway.
And we're like, we don't get
I'm
birthdays
living proof.
anymore? What the fuck is the point of Facebook?
If that's really the only point anymore.
And
Oh,
misinformation.
yeah,
Yeah.
misinformation. Oh my god. And Twitter, all the bullshit on there. I
Uh,
God. It is. It is really bad. I mean, I did go back on and got myself all worked up today over stuff happening out there, but the regular cast of characters with their reasons. I mean, I want to know why is the New World Order burning up LA? Because they want that. They want that oceanfront, you know. Anyway,
think of
it,
this.
it,
Think of
it's
this.
yeah.
I'm still on this.
Okay, I see that
Jesus is
devilish.
back. Everything's awesome. Jesus is back. It's fucking great. But for some reason, all cats are uncomfortable around him.
They're smart.
Everywhere he goes, cats are like, yeah. I would side with the cats. I wouldn't be like, well, the cats are just being silly. I'd be like, I trust cats. The fuck is this? I'd be like, Jesus, why don't cats like you?
This is great. Is this your whole thinking pattern when you start to think about how to draw? Because you're so creative, and you're a good storyteller about how to draw
Yeah,
your
I mean, you got to
cartoons.
purge all the bullshit. So I just say,
Yeah.
so, like, you
Free
should,
associate.
I
Get
should
it out.
record my wife saying things like, "Do you have to be saying this out loud right now?" Don't you have a notebook?
Yeah, she's been with you long enough, she can deal with it.
Okay,
She's
here.
got to be an extremely special person. Up. Okay, you read it.
Thanks for the $10 super chat, Pitchfork Striking. That's very
Yeah,
generous.
guys, don't forget about me.
Are we entirely sure the God of Jesus wasn't Dionysus, the God of love, acceptance, creation, not being a hypocrite whose miracle was turning water into wine? What was Jesus about again? That's true. Yeah. And I mean, really, this is when because I was raised Catholic, and at the point
Mhm.
in my life when I said, nah, I don't want to follow religion anymore. I remember noting to myself, but there was a lot of positive messages that I can take from this. So, like, if you want to have parables and stories about things that make you understand, with morals, a moral to the story, as they say,
Yeah, I
that's
didn't
very
have
positive. But like, if cats didn't like him, or if like he smelled bad, like, yeah, okay, Jesus has the worst BO you've ever fucking smelled. Now what?
Now what? You'd say, "Jesus, you need the holy water, and you need to bathe in it. We need to baptize him."
Just
Yeah.
think about it though, because you're like, wow, man,
Uh,
everything just got so fucking great, but like I can smell that dude a mile away, like literally a mile away. And you're like, ooh, what the fuck is
oh,
that smell? Oh my
oh,
God. And they're like, it's Jesus Christ. He's in the next town. You'd be like, oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ! People say that. I didn't grow up with that. My father was literally an atheist, communist, not religious, hated it all. Yes, yes. But that's okay because
I
I had grandparents who had silver Christmas tree. I mean, I had it all. So,
oh,
some kind of, you know, little bit. But let's see. The
what if
Gene,
Jesus had a mullet? You'd be like, dude, what are you
what if
doing?
God was one of
Why are you
us?
making
Remember
it hard
that
to look at
song?
you?
A slob like some of us. You know that song, right? It's from the
Oh
90s,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Hmm.
What if God was one of us?
That's
Uh,
not just from the 90s, that's
it,
from the mid 90s.
oh,
No, I don't know. It might be early. I don't know.
I don't know. Look it up. What if God was one of us? Somebody look it up. Anyway, Jean had a comment earlier. It was cute, but I have to find it all the way back. Oh, they're talking about the orange turd
Joan
and
Osborne, huh?
the yeah, Joan Osborne, that's it. And wanting
95.
to it was, you were right, mid-90s. But the thing yesterday where, the Gulf of America. And Gene just said, "Why does he name it the Gulf of Trump?" The Gulf of Trump. Just wait, they're gonna put that asshole on
Rushmore.
Mount Mo yes,
It takes too
yes.
long. That
Ugh,
takes a long time to carve that. So
well, you
there's going to
think
be
he won't
somebody who come
try?
along and stop it beforehand. But what if Jesus was back
You're on
and
the
everything was fucking awesome,
Oh,
but he hadn't really like done any news or press, right? And so now
yeah.
he's going to do it, and everyone's like waiting with bated breath, like listening, and he goes, "Stay in school, kids." And you'd be like, "School? We still have to go to school? What the fuck is this?"
Schools that we want Alice Cooper instead of Jesus then.
What if he? Yeah, I mean that's what I'm just saying is like if because there's no way, son of God or not, there's no way that he's going to be in line with everything that we've created here to be cool. Do you know what I'm
No,
saying?
no.
Like he's gonna
Hey!
frown on some stuff to the point where we're like, all right, you can go. This is bullshit.
Hey,
Stop
I
telling
need
us
to
what
shout
to fucking do.
I gotta shout out somebody. Lori Sue Cregnan Clampt, if I got it right. Hello, everyone, True North Eager Beaver
Oh,
people
cool.
sent me hello, and I'm happy Jake turned me on to that channel. They
Yeah.
have a morning show at like 7 a.m., but I've been getting up, or I get up early because these cats wake me up. So I watched them today, and I learned from them. They're good. So there's two great Canadian channels. there's Left of the Box Sandy Lovis, and now there's the True North Eager Beavers podcast, and then of course the Rational National. But he talks mostly about American politics. But he did do, and I didn't get to watch it. He did a show I have to watch on the Trudeau resignation, which
Yeah,
was
and he
quite a
did.
conversation today on the True North Eager Beaver this morning.
Oh,
So,
cool.
hey, I'm so
Yeah,
happy you guys made it.
because they're in Canada, which I
Yes,
always forget where
yes.
Canada is, but I understand it's
Well,
colder.
don't forget it's gonna be 52, the 52nd state.
Um,
Oh my god. Are we the laughing stock of the world?
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
seriously. I I feel like the United States is a laughing stock. Although there are people that are so serious about this and saying, well, we'll get all the minerals that we need, we'll get all the stuff, and yeah, they'll destroy Greenland. But the two people that went over there, we've got Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk. And I was hoping that some Greenland hunter would mistake them for an invasive species.
They weren't wearing orange vests. Yeah,
Right, they are invasive species.
I'm gonna touch on this tomorrow in my show at 10 a.m. Eastern, the unelected advisors and stuff like that. I'm gonna touch on that because that is something that there's different ways to look at it. So I just want to kind of spell it out. But I think it's this whole thing is so fucking stupid. Oh, you want to see
Is it a
something good?
diversion? Is it a diversion because he can't lower prices? And then people are saying, "Well, I read it. People are saying, I
No,
think
it's all a diversion. Yeah.
well, yes, but where's the money coming from? He's complaining on one hand today because I was on Twitter that that California sucks because they don't have or they didn't have the money to take care of this or clean the forests or whatever, but he wants to buy Greenland and threaten everybody on the planet. We're going to be the evil axis. That's what they want. China, Russia, United States. Evil axis. Axis. Evil.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. And I mean,
Mhm.
you can keep talking about it, but if I talk about it, I'm gonna do tomorrow's show tonight,
Okay,
and
we
I don't
won't
want
do
to do
that.
that. But I do want to show you. Check this guy out. Do you
Bella.
know Josh Johnson?
Do I know Josh Johnson?
Okay, he's a stand-up comedian. He's got a podcast. He just went on tour
Okay.
last year. Somebody tagged me in this along with I love when I get tagged with people like Jamie Peck, Emma Vigeland, Mike Frigaredo, and I'm like, and me? Okay. But somebody tagged me in this. It's a stand-up comedy routine. It's like 45 minutes. And I was like,
Ooh.
I'll give it a few seconds. I'm not looking for new comedians who talk about politics because I don't think it can be funny. 45 minutes flew by. It's fucking phenomenal. This guy, I'll try and link to it. This guy sits down and starts talking about the MAGA civil war happening online. And I was like, I don't know if I want to hear this. I got sucked in immediately. And he talked about it in a way that I was like, wow, it's been like 10 minutes and there's no jokes. But I want to listen to him. He is so smart and switched on to everything that's happening with politics. He's
Okay.
not just a comedian, he's a brilliant mind
Commentator.
who's making it
Mhm.
funny as shit. Like every now and then he would say something, and I was just
Send me
like,
the link.
"That is great."
I need the link.
Now it's on
Definitely.
me, Blue Sky. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can find
All
it.
right, that's cool.
Yeah,
Josh
but I was
Johnson.
so
Oh,
happy.
he was a writer for The Daily Show, Karen says, singing way.
He's
Great.
he's better than that.
All
It was called
right.
Musk First MAGA.
Okay.
Why they're turning on Elon. It's a YouTube video by Josh Johnson. I hit him up right away and was
Cool.
like, "Is there any chance you want to come on for an interview?"
I have not, I have to say, I have not been on X, Twitter much
Oh,
till
me
today
neither.
because of the fires. Yeah, but I knew I wanted to see the footage of, that was not just on the news on YouTube, that from these Fox stations that are the only ones covering it or NBC. So I went on today, and of course, I felt that outrage crap start, you know? Like I said, the only time I'm on X Twitter is because Saturdays, if I could make the Climate Crisis Club, which is on Spaces, which I really want them to get off Spaces and find some other platform. I don't like Spaces for the main reason you can have people listening anonymously and really don't know who's out there. And I think while you want to be public with all the things you're talking and thinking about, you want kind of want to know a little more about who's listening. Spaces gives me the creeps at times, I think. And I had never been on it before I happened into Alex Hale and the Climate Crisis Club. And I like all the people because they're all from all over the world and pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Pretty cool.
Um,
Yes, Daniel Swain. Kelly Green asked me if I've seen Daniel Swain. Yes, I watched Daniel. I've been watching him for a long time. And Daniel had this calendar last year of extreme weather, and I have it. And I actually literally, it's this thick and it's small, but every day has some kind of event or some kind of science fact. And I was actually going to do a show with last year's calendar. Yes, Kelly, he's great. Kelly, I know everybody. When are you going to know? When are you going to realize that? Everybody.
what if
Yeah.
Jesus came back
Oh,
and he
we're still
said,
there.
and they're like, so Jesus, what are you gonna do today? And he's like, oh man, I went down a rabbit hole last night making all kinds of AI art. Check this out.
Jesus is into
You'd
AI
be
art.
like,
Yeah.
dude, seriously, just learn to paint. And he's like, why?
Yes.
Make AI.
Yes. Um,
You'd be like, ah,
yeah.
you can go.
Kelly, I'm sorry. I know he's doing live. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent about Daniel Swain. I did though. I did. He has been doing live coverage. He's a great climate scientist. So
I
many of them
had
are.
I had
Yeah.
$400 worth of comic books delivered to my house today.
$400. Holy shit.
Because it was 370, it was like 300 something for, it was a Kickstarter for 4 1,200 page books and around there. So thousands of pages of comics. And, you know, when you do a Kickstarter, if they exceed their original funding amount, they just keep
Yeah.
adding shit on. It's stretch goals. So that's incentive for people to keep jumping on the campaign so they can say, oh, wow, we're getting more stuff. And it's all the G.I. Joe comics from the 80s into the 90s that I read as a kid.
Really?
And this is the only way currently that you can get them all in one box set.
So you bought the whole thing, all of it. Can you
Yeah,
show us? Do you have
in
it
like
right there? To sh
June. No, it's like
Oh.
45 pounds. I have pictures
Oh,
though.
oh, oh, oh.
Um,
Okay. That's cool. Oh, look at that.
yeah, it was like this huge box that showed up on my doorstep. And then here, this is it opened.
Such a different world than I would ever be in.
But it's just it's
Wow.
and
Well, actually
I was flipping through them, the books, and I was like, just like, oh my God, I remember all of these. I remember these from
yeah,
when I was a little
you were a
kid. Like
kid.
I would
That's
watch the
great.
cartoon and then I would read the comics. And so when I saw this Kickstarter, they were asking for like 50 grand. They got millions.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Oh,
It's the
wow.
most successful comic book Kickstarter of all time. And like I said, you can't get all these stories. Some of these stories have been out of print since the 80s.
Wow. Well, that's really cool. I hope you're happy with it. You know what I
I
got
mean,
the
I
mail today?
flipped out. I built a reading stand, like a music stand, but out of like walnut. Like I built it and used an
Wow.
old medical exam stand. I
Really?
Yeah, I built it over the summer and in the fall to accommodate these huge books. Because
Oh,
how
your
are you gonna
house
fucking read
is
them?
your house is like a museum. Do you have a I mean, you could make a comic museum in your house, right?
I was looking at this
Well,
library I have downstairs in the basement, and I was like, "This is like better than a fucking retail shop, better than a comic book
cool.
store right now." It's
Wow.
amazing.
Oh, you know what I got in the mail today? How
What?
exciting this is? Mold testing cups and radon testing. That's
Oh,
what I
I've
got
done the
in the mail
radon.
today.
Yeah, I've done the radon. You should just do the
Oh,
radon mitigation anyway. Just do it. Do you live with like
I don't
sloping
uh,
ground anywhere or?
yeah, but the thing is, I don't know. I think I might have a sick house because I have been sick for over what 6, 7 weeks on and off. I wake up with a headache every day, Matt, every day. But I think it's cervicalgia. It's my neck, right? Every day. But I don't like this. This is getting ridiculous. Every day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I have a headache, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's why I'm getting up so early when it's dark,
It's
and I
look,
watch them.
new homes, it's required for most new homes to have some
Right.
sort of radon mitigation. So why wouldn't you just get it for your old home? Is it a one-story house?
I live upstairs. It's got a basement.
So you have
It's
a
two
two-story house.
story. Yeah. But
But what, one
I got
floor is
it
underground?
test sort of half underground. When I
How
bought
many
the house,
stories above ground?
the basement is half underground, half not
And
underground.
then there's
Okay.
one other
And
floor?
then I live upstairs. Yes, I live
So what you're
upstairs.
calling upstairs is the only main
It's
level of
like
the
they
house.
plunk yeah, like they
You don't
plunked
have
a
a
ramp.
staircase that goes up to another level.
Nope, and you can't
Okay.
even get in my
So
attic.
it all you need is like one PVC pipe and a fan. That's it. They're gonna have to dig a little in the basement and fill it with
Yeah.
some rock,
Oh,
but
yeah?
like not feet. You know what I mean? This
Well,
is
I've
very
gotta
easy
test
and
it
affordable.
first. I thought they tested it when I bought the house. They tested the
You
septic
know,
and they
you'll
tested
send
all
those
that
off
stuff.
to be tested and they'll tell you,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, you got it."
This is New York State, though, so it's not gonna be some
That's what I'm
company
saying.
that's gonna try to make money off me.
You
This
could
is the
do it
state.
again in a month and have
Mhm,
totally different results though.
mm. Well, I'll learn. I have to do it. I got the kit,
I'd be
you know?
surprised if you don't have them, but you know,
Well, I did check the statistics. I talked about this on my show Sunday. Checked the statistics where I live,
why didn't I see
and
your Sunday? Oh, you did in the morning.
oh, I do it at 11 a.m. now, the
Oh, I
pajama
was
show.
dying.
The pajama
I
show,
was
yeah, you
still
are. Although I'm in pajamas tonight, but I did the pajama show. But I also want to check for the mold, their mold cups, even though I pretty much spray for it and I've
you should
checked
check. It
all
could be
these
in the
things.
walls.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, it might be mouse turds up in the attic that I can't get out. I have a lot of problems, but I mean, I'm going to work on fixing them, fixing them.
Yeah.
But I have to get myself checked out because I can't stand these headaches. But they only started in November when I got sick. So we'll see.
So we have the basement and 2 stories, including the attic. And so
Jesus.
like our
Okay.
our and like I was like, why didn't we finish the attic? It's huge. It's hot as fuck. You can't, but it's
Yeah.
huge. But like our pipe for that goes up to the fan for radon.
Mhm. Mhm.
They were like, "Well, we're gonna put it on the outside of the house." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want it on the outside of the house. It's just I don't want some weird PVC up on the outside of the house. I don't want that." And they're like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "We're gonna go right up through this closet. Look." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we can do that. It's gonna be a little more expensive." And I was like, "I don't fucking care. I'll come right up from the furnace, right next to the furnace, up this closet, into the attic, and out.
Oh
I don't
my
I don't
god.
want it on the outside of the house because they would have to go
Right.
like up, over,
Right, right,
outside,
right.
up. And I
Yeah,
was
you
like,
have
that's
one of
dumb.
those.
Yeah. So I was like, we'll go up through this closet. And they're like, okay, we're gonna have to drill through the floor. And I was like, yeah, and the ceiling. I don't care. Fucking do it. And it's
Was it expensive though? I have other things. My house is rotting. The where the house meets the basement, it's rotted in that space. The wood is rotted, and I already stuffed it with a whole bunch of shit, but I'm waiting for a contractor to come over because that's where I think the mice were getting in, and the cold air was coming right in the basement. I mean, I just
yeah,
decided to finally check that out,
they
and I have a hole
are
in my closet, which I have problems here.
we got lucky. If you have this, go with these kind of people. We found somebody. It
Have
was a
no money.
restoration company
Yeah.
that bought a radon mitigation company. And
Oh,
I said, okay, come on over wearing both hats and give us a package, right?
Uh-huh.
I said, we had bats removed. Surely there's something to clean up there in the attic after the bats left,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, bats
And
in
they
the
were like,
belfry.
yeah,
Did
and they said
you?
there definitely is. We can clean that up. And I was like, and do the radon and whatever else you can find around here needs to be done. And they're very cool about it. And they said, yeah, we can. And basically just save on them having to come back out a whole bunch of time in labor because it's the same
Mhm.
guys doing all of it. And so
Mm.
it
Mm.
it it was totally affordable. The only thing was so they had to put a vent on the roof, right? For
Yeah.
like a pipe vent, and they had to,
Yep.
put
I
down
have
tar and
both
everything.
of them.
And they had a fucking guy go up there. One guy was too heavy set to go up there. Okay. Um, but the other guy, the younger guy, was scared of heights. And he said, let's just say the boss's name was
Like,
Bill.
okay.
Yeah, let's just say the boss's name was Bill. He's like, so the one guy said to the other one, so you want to get up on the roof? And he goes, I told Bill I don't do roofs. I'm scared of that. And he goes, come on, man, you're in a restoration radon company. You do roofs. And he goes,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
Wow.
And so it turns out he got up there and got
He got
stuck.
up
He was
there.
up there for hours, like 3 hours on the roof, wouldn't move, scared shitless. I'm sitting on this is before we redid our deck, and this deck, the old one was like falling apart, which is why we
Mhm.
redid it. And I'm sitting there with a ladder, like on a ladder, going, hey man, if you fall, I'll catch you. Knowing that if he fell, I couldn't catch him. We're dead. But he can't
Jeez.
sit up there, and I wasn't gonna call the fucking fire department.
Oh, come on.
Right? I was
Yeah.
like,
This
but
is
we were
the
going on 2.5
story.
hours.
Wow.
He was stuck up there.
Wow. Well, like I said earlier, I looked up the statistics for where I live for radon, and there really were not that many houses
70 feet,
that had
maybe?
radon. Oh, how high?
Oh, yeah. Well, in our area,
You have
it's
more. I don't know. We're on Marcellus Shale. We probably have all kinds of other things, but I think the mold though is more important to test for because I had a leaky basement that got checked. I had a leaky skylight which had green mold, not black mold, but I'm going to check for all of this.
so you're gonna place this stuff around the house, and then after a certain
You
amount of
mail it
time,
to a lab.
you mail it off. See,
I
I
do.
had a
Well,
home
I don't.
inspector come get that shit.
Well, that's 10 years ago I bought the house, and that was done 10 years ago, but not for I don't know if they did mold. I'd have to look in my safe. I have the whole thing, and they did the septic, and they tested all that, but it's been 10 years, and the house has I have problems, so although I would think if the house was an extremely sick house, I have a lot of cats. There's only one that has any illness. So I would think that they would be sick, if it was a really sick house. So I do think it's my neck, cervicalgia giving me these headaches from maybe I'm lifting firewood, but I'm only lifting one or two pieces at a time. But it's a drag getting old, guys. It just
Yeah,
sucks.
I've told you about my spinal issues, right? No,
Ugh,
first of all, no, I don't have a
ugh.
Substack. I've thought of it, but I'd rather
I do.
talk about it than write it.
I haven't written anything yet.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't get anything done on it. I would have to give up this show to do that. But
Good night, Jean.
I was working at a desk for so many years doing graphic design that my spine and my neck is straight instead of curving like it's supposed to. It's straight. And so every day for 8 minutes, I have to lay on this like it looks like a Monopoly house. You know, the little houses you get for
You're
Monopoly,
kidding.
and it's black like foam.
What?
It's peaked, and I have to lay on it like this to get the curve back. I'm not
No.
kidding. Yeah, I went to the chiropractor. He was my
Ow.
neighbor.
That
Yeah, he
sounds
was
like it would hurt.
no, and he gave me some exercises, and I was like, "Look, Lou, I don't want to go to a chiropractor for the rest of my life, man." He goes, "No, I'll give you the tools to work with, and if it doesn't work, you'll have to come back for adjustments periodically, but not
Mm,
forever." So
right.
I use this pillow every day, and there's a couple of exercises, and if I swim in the ocean or play basketball, my neck is fucked the next day. But
Ow.
if I do these daily, and look, I miss a day here and there, but if I do it enough for if I do it enough throughout the week, I avoid constant pain. Let's see here.
When
What
I
oh,
sit
let me
and
look
do
up.
this show, literally
Yeah.
2 hours, then I have to recover tomorrow from sitting. Sitting is the worst for me. That's why I retired medically. I had to leave my job because I couldn't sit for long periods of time. So I literally suffer the next day after I do a 2-hour
Oh,
show. That's why I have to work. So everything I do is because of my spine disabilities. Everything, how I live my life, everything is, and everybody knows it because everybody that's here knows it. Oh, that's what it looks like.
yeah.
Oh, really? That's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
So that's me.
Yeah, 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 that
8
looks like it
minutes a
would
day
help me.
for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah, but it's okay, it's better than what I have. They put metal in my neck, and I have screws and shit, and I wish I never had that surgery. It was they sucked me into having that surgery, and I shouldn't have, because the chiropractor had helped me for years, you know? Then I moved down here, and there was no chiropractors. Or, to go back to that guy was an hour and a half, so yeah,
I
I
feel
wish I
like
never
using
did, but
that
that
pillow
looks
right now.
good. It looks
Oh.
good, actually. I have tried so many different things, and I've got this collar, and I have these things, the TENS unit and all that
Mm.
stuff, but this headache shit is really getting to me, waking up
Yeah,
every
we'll
day
do
with
the
headache.
test. I mean, you got to do the
I
due
will,
diligence anyway.
I will, but I do think it's you know,
So
cervicalgia, it's
when you
called.
get the whatchamacallit, the radon tube, they put like a little, it looks like a thermometer, and if the blue liquid, it's like a U. If the blue
Mhm.
liquid is ever like even, I think it's even. If it's ever even at 0, trouble. But if it's off,
Oh,
you're okay.
God. Well, if I have radon, I'll have to do a fundraiser
And
because
it gives
I'm
you a little
still
beep.
paying for my roof I put on last year.
Like when our power went out, it was
Yes.
beeping because it was the fan wasn't going, so it was like
Yeah. Oh,
beep.
yeah.
It was like a chirp, like a smoke
Right.
detector, but I was like,
It was
you gotta be
annoying.
fucking kidding me.
You're gonna
Like the
have to hear
power's
that
out,
for
but something's beeping. So annoying. But there
Yeah.
you can reset it yourself. They they tell you how to do it over the phone. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal.
I'm just hoping I don't have radon. That,
But if you
I
don't
already
now,
have
you
I
might down
already
the
have
road.
mice shit in the attic that you can't get to. I know, on top of me.
So bat shit will
That's gotta be gross.
um get in, it'll dry and get in the air, and it'll cause a disease that causes paralysis.
Yeah. There's a lot of these things,
I was
hantavirus
going
from these
around
animals.
with that like crack filler, like that
Yeah,
foam, that black foam. I went around my fucking house
that's what I
and
need to do.
garage for like a few days, just looking for every crack, being like filling that shit.
I
Because
need
when
somebody to come over and help me.
the people that remove bats, it's very humane. It's not bad. In
Right.
South Carolina,
Well,
they
they
won't,
remove the bats, they don't hurt them. My
right,
mother had that done too. They
and they don't
remove them,
do it during like their mating season.
and then they put them in
That
a bat preserve or wherever they
No, the way they do it is,
in
well,
Florida,
here
they did.
they find their point of entry, and they put like a funnel in there, and the bats squeeze through and leave, but they can't come back because they need to land to squeeze through, and the funnel keeps them from landing because it's like 6 to 8 inches long, so they can't land, so they can't get back in. They can only come out. That's
Ugh,
why they avoid doing
witches.
it during mating season, because they would leave
Right.
their little baby bats in there, and they don't want them to do that.
Oh, I had
So
baby birds this year in my soffit.
oh, yeah. My wife wants to take the hanging plants down because 'cause they're
Oh.
dead from the porch, but birds have been nesting in there, and it's
Aw.
awesome. I
Aw.
just sit in my living room and watch them. But we had the ridge vent along the top of the roof. We had to put a mesh down on it. I was up there nailing the mesh in.
The
Crazy.
mesh. That's what I had done. my roofing guys came up and they put mesh over every pipe, everything that a mouse could get in, and I still was hearing them. So when I was down in the basement the other day stuffing the shit out of that hole, making sure I didn't crumble the rest of the wood, I was hoping that it would be something, thinking, these mice aren't getting in that way. Although I haven't heard any in a couple of days. So I'm like,
So
but I don't know what's up there.
you can mix 2 teaspoons of peppermint essential oil with 1 cup water and add 3 to 5 cups of detergent. Shake it real well and then just spray it everywhere all the time.
Well, that's for rodents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use a mint
You do
spray
that?
in my truck because they get in there. I had mouse
You
shit
can
on my
also
seat, my pickup truck.
these little burlap bags from like hardware stores wherever they have rodent repellent. You can
Ugh,
buy these little things where it's like all kinds of stuff like that.
rodent cups. I stuck it in the air in my motor. I had to. One time left paper towels in my truck, and I have a carport. It's not a closed garage, and they chewed it up, and it was stuffed in my vents for a year. It took a year to blow it all out. But I just talked about all this on Sunday and showed pictures. Poor
I
me.
got
At
to go
least
back and watch it.
I have a place to. Oh, I just blabbed about my house. I have a
Hey,
place to
so
live, and I can't complain. Yes, everything's falling apart, but I have a place to live, and I have land.
hey,
That's
when this
beautiful.
happens, when you get banned from Twitch, what do they do with the money that you were about to like if I got banned from YouTube, would Google AdSense be like, "Well, here's the money that you generated," or
You mean like Adrian's saying she got
yeah,
banned from
like what
Twitch?
happens? Like I'm just kind of
They
asking the
stop.
crowd or Adrian. Yeah,
Don't
but
they just stop paying you?
do they at least cash you out or
Well, wouldn't you say that's compensation? You're
but
getting a
when
it's
it
not
originally
like
happened,
how
they didn't say
yeah.
anything. It just stopped
Oh,
existing.
I
There
got
was
off
no
Twitch, by
email. It
the
was just
way.
gone.
Jeez. I got off Twitch. I ended it because nobody was watching there, and I don't have a mod, and I'm not interested in 14 channels. YouTube, Facebook,
No, I
that's
could
it.
barely do this.
Right, exactly.
Uh,
And Facebook, I'm still on because we've had that page for so long with 20,000. Plus I got another 600 just in the last, 3 months on Facebook because people are saying, "Oh, gee, we like this." Populating with articles and all that, but I don't do it.
yeah.
I do have somebody that does it. Jonathan O, he does it.
So what if Jesus came
Yeah.
back and
What if Jesus came
he
back?
was like they were like, "So is there anything
He'd
about
end the
the
war.
modern world that you dig or that you like?" And he's like, "These pickle peanut butter sandwiches are fucking rad." I'd be like, "Dude,
Aw.
no,
No,
they're not."
Jesus found Pornhub, but they banned it in the South.
Jesus is like, "Why do I have to verify my age? Ridiculous."
Oh, man, man,
It's like
man, man.
thousands.
David Rovix was dumped from YouTube? David Rovix, the musician, was dumped from YouTube, Kelly said. Shit, I was gonna do a video for him, and I
Um,
never did it. You
yeah, I
interviewed
mean,
him.
I talked to him. He's very outspoken about things that
Yeah, but
the algorithm
it's
is just not cool with.
it's bad because I think he's right,
I didn't
you
mean for
know?
that to sound like he was doing things like he should be doing
No.
things the algorithm is cool with. I didn't
Right.
mean for it to sound that way.
But we're living in in an era that's just gonna get worse, and I'm afraid that the free speech warriors on the other side are really it's all projection, and it's it
Dude,
they're going to take it away from us.
look at this one. I'd be like, "What? Why?"
Only allowed you to have 1 mod.
That's golden.
Dust mite, that's a great name. I
I have
probably
like
I probably have those too.
I'm at like 645 right now.
645
I had a
mods. Oh my
guest
god.
say
Oh, he was
I
demonetized.
had a guest ask me something recently like I don't remember the exact words, but it was something like this. Would your chat be okay with that? And I was like, oh, my chat is, yeah. I mean, yes to anything. My chat is fucking rock solid self-policing community. Don't worry about it. Like there's nothing like
Yeah, I think
this
it
experiment.
works.
This experiment fucking worked.
It
Like,
works.
I'm
It worked.
amazed.
It was a good experiment. It is a good experiment. It
I
works.
proved the thing that nobody
Mhm,
was out to prove. I get it,
mhm.
but it worked.
Yeah, but it's your shtick. It's your
This is.
thing. Nobody else does that. What if Jesus came back and said comics are lame?
I would be like,
Goodbye.
fight me,
Goodbye.
dude.
Goodbye.
No
Yeah.
superpowers, fight me.
Mm.
What if Jesus came back and produced a Netflix movie with Barack Obama? I mean, like, dude, no.
How do you
This
come
is.
up? Who said that? That
I
was
just
in
came up with it. I'm like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
not
It's
paying
like, how do you
attention to
come
the
up
last few years, my man.
What if Jesus came back?
Jesus is like, what?
The
He was a
whole
community
the
organizer.
whole
What?
thread of the show tonight. Jesus, Jesus. I just thought MAGA had their Jesus, and he's orange. Those people, those cultists, they do believe that he is the second coming or the Messiah. And you've seen those people. Those people are literally they follow that guy blindly and they believe it and they're happy with him. There's nothing wrong in MAGA world. Except there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance now that he's saying he wants to spend all this money on Greenland and Canada and all that. And they're like, well, wait a minute, we just want a wall on you to kick all the brown people out, you know. So I guess there's cognitive dissonance in the MAGA world and the Musk thing. Yeah, it's going to be funny and interesting. Not funny. It's going to be interesting to watch. But I
He's
am
gonna
very
be
much pulled back, Matt. I'm not
the
watching I'm
only.
watching you.
Hey,
I'm
you
not
could do worse.
watching maybe David
The
Feldman once a week. I can't watch all this
he's
politics.
gonna be Trump is gonna be sentenced on Friday.
It's really happening?
That's this last
I
I heard.
thought oh, oh.
So,
It'll be a
I don't know, but like, can he just undo it real quick? Can he just go? Yeah,
after he takes office. Well, he has immunity for all this bullshit, so I'm not looking forward to the Project 2025 stuff, and I am, those are the things I'll report on, the National Weather Service, which how can you do that or take away NOAA or any of that? Those are the things I will be. Hi, Emerald View. Yeah, send him to prison and give him a lot of cheeseburgers so that it happens fast. I have this wish. Just give this guy cheeseburgers like a dog. Let him because dogs will just keep eating. Yeah, just give him cheeseburgers. Yeah, but then we get the other guy, the tech bro, who we haven't heard much from, have we? Has well, I haven't been watching, so I don't know. What's Mr. JD up to?
none of this is. It's all bullshit. I mean, they don't even. They,
I don't know. I
I
haven't
can't
watched.
talk about it, or I'll just do tomorrow's show
Okay,
tonight.
okay, we
Sorry,
won't.
I just
'Cause
you can talk about it, but I'm not.
I have a bit of announcement. Uh Ivana Trump would like to come back to my show.
Oh,
So
nice,
we may,
good.
before the inauguration, I
That's a
think
huge get.
yes, Ivana will be back with me and we're going to try to get the Donald on the phone. So
Oh
look for that when I schedule that. Yes, Ivana, because if everybody watched my show, Ivana's not dead. She's living in St. Petersburg, Russia. So
no,
that ought to be fun.
look. I just want to tell the chat.
Yes, chat.
I don't mean it's all bullshit. We shouldn't look. This is what I say at the top of the show.
What?
I'm not going to have a YouTube show where I sit here and go, "There's nothing we can do. It's all bullshit."
I don't do that either.
But I'm just explaining to the
Yeah.
chat because I saw a couple things go by. What I'm saying is me saying it's all bullshit is me telling myself, Matt, don't do your show tomorrow right now because I have a whole fucking show planned for tomorrow where I'm going to talk about this stuff at length, what I really feel about it, and
Right.
I can't talk about it now or I'm not going to do the same show. I'm not going to
So we're
stream 5
not.
days a week and talk about the same thing every day. I'm telling the chat. That's all.
I've
So
done
I
that.
don't mean it's all bullshit. There's nothing you can
I
do. Fuck it.
replicated Sunday
I'm a
whining about
middle-aged
my
white male. I'll be fine, you guys. I'm not sweating it.
Oh, jeez.
Me and my friends are going to be fine.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Oh, God.
It's just like,
Well,
you know what I think about a lot when
no, Matt, what do you think about a lot?
I had Ronald Reagan on.
Mhm.
And no, look, Kelly Green, tune in tomorrow, okay? Seriously.
Yeah,
We
tell
will
Kelly.
the analysis is don't worry. It's going to be more than just I didn't mean to sound
Kelly's
off the
got a
cuff
channel
and
too.
dismissive. It's important as fuck. I've been working on it for days. I don't want to do it
Yes.
half-assed now. I'll do the proper show tomorrow. Believe me. It's not
Proper.
just bullshit.
Nope.
Ronald Reagan was on the show, immigration lawyer, talking about immigration, and he said, "I cannot tell you how many times I look out into the lobby, and there's someone in need of my services with a white advocate sitting with them, and it's these people who think who say to them, 'I'll go down there with you, and we'll figure it out,' and it's like." How? Why? Because you're a white American citizen? That's not how it works. You can't just show up here with your immigrant of choice and make their undocumented status go. You know what I mean? Like here's the lawyer. You brought him to the right place, but being an advocate is meaningless. Like if
Right.
you want to be an advocate, help them in their day to day. Help them, make ends meet. Whatever it is that you can do to be a neighbor or a member of their community or church member, whatever it may be. But like just being by their side at the immigration lawyer office is very weird and entitled and just like what delusional. I think about it a
Delusional.
lot. And like I do, I
Mhm.
go well out of my way to be somebody who's not just I'm your white ally. No, I'm just an ally. Okay, you tell me what I can do. You tell me what kind of ally to be, when, and at what time, right? And I'll do it. I'm not the guy who's like, I have a YouTube show where I'm the white ally and I'm going to be that one guy who's like, but then when I go back to my world, everything's fine because I'm drenched in
Oh.
privilege. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, I really am cognizant of not being that. I'm like aware that because I see that shit out there. Right. And I
Right.
do not want to be that guy.
Well, then
So,
don't be
like,
that guy.
no, but that's what I'm saying is I work very hard to not sound like that. And so if somebody takes my off the cuff loose comment to be that, it's like, fuck, why I'm working really hard not to do that.
Okay. I have to think of something I'm working hard not to
It's like
do.
that guy came on here from your show and said this channel's a little too conservative for me. And I was like, are you
Oh,
fucking kidding me?
you got so freaked out over that, though. It
I
was
wasn't
not
freaked out.
it
I
was
told you
I know you told me
in
you
the
weren't.
moment, I'm not freaked out about it, but
I
now I have
know
to
you
be
told me.
clarifying. Whereas before it was like I thought I was.
It was so not worth it.
But conservative really is just a
Yeah, I
not
know.
word.
It is. You're so
Not
conservative.
communist enough, maybe, but that still isn't conservative.
Not communist. Oh god. That's
What
like
if
somebody telling me, "You're not doomer enough, Sandy, because you do talk about things like permaculture and growing and bring on people that have solutions."
what if Jesus
And
came
it's
back
not hopium. What if Jesus came back
and
and he was full of hopium?
he was like, communism, that's scary as shit. Don't do God. Don't you guys remember the 80s? Don't do that.
Oh
He like,
god. Oh, jeez.
or
Oh
what if
my
Jesus
goodness.
is like, what do you want to go to the moon for? Be like, yeah, dude. He's like, you could spend that money on AI art instead. No, dude, that's what the fuck.
AI.
It's like
Hey,
I
have
said,
you used go ahead.
if that Luigi gets up at court and they're like, all right, dude, everyone's listening. What do you have to say? And he's like, go to my website and check out my NFTs. You'd be like, fuck. He's like, I highly recommend Bitcoin. Get it's serious, you guys. It's the future. You'd be like, damn it.
So, yeah, Luigi. There's going to be so many women packed in that courtroom. What if we were Jesus? We are all Jesus. We are all Jesus. We are all, I don't know if anybody knows this reference. We are all bozos on this bus. That's the Fire Sign Theater. That's old shit. I'm even too young to remember that, but I remembered that.
Luigi, what should we do? Say something profound. And he's like, why don't we just put sunlight in our veins? Can't we do that?
Hey, did you see? I think it was Stewart that was talking about the manifestos. Oh, I don't know which comedian it was, but they were saying Luigi's manifesto was lame, but the real guy that really could write a manifesto was the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. I mean, he had
the anti-left leftist or whatever.
He had a bibliography, and he had chapters and pages, and everybody else's manifesto was not a manifesto.
I think about that all the time. Whenever Cenk Uygur says, like, you guys, Steve Bannon's right. We do need to get money out of politics. And I'm like, Steve Bannon's right. No, asshole.
Oh, God.
There's plenty of people saying that. Why are you latching on to the one guy on the right? It's like, yeah, there was a lot of smart things in that manifesto by Ted Kaczynski. But overall, it's fucking insanely dangerous, crazy shit.
Bomb stuff.
You cannot, and that whole, this is what they say, okay? Steve Bannon, just use this as the example, says one thing that you happen to also say. The context is, he's a fucking white supremacist, okay? So he's not saying it in terms of, this will help smooth everything out for everyone. He's saying it in terms of, this is how we prevent the browning of America, or whatever they call it.
But how does Cenk not get that?
That's why people think it's bad faith. That's why people say it's grifting or whatever. But then,
dope.
But so then you'll hear lefty commentators say regarding Steve Bannon's comments that a broken clock can be right twice a day. And I say, humans aren't fucking clocks. That analogy does not fucking apply. You cannot be right every now and then if you're always wrong.
Now there's a guy that smells. There's a guy that looks like he stinks. Steve Bannon. He just looks like he smells.
I know. He doesn't even try.
He looks like he smells, and I could imagine if animals were around him where they would try to be sniffing immediately. Ugh, he's disgusting. How people follow some of these horrendous podcast people, or these people, these political people, I don't know. I don't get it.
I think they're buying views. I get emails hourly saying,
buying
hey,
views?
Yeah, I get these emails all the time saying, hey, we saw your YouTube channel. You're not getting nearly the views you could. Do you want to buy some?
I have never gotten an email like that, but then nobody cares about climate and environment.
With you. I bet there's one sitting there right now.
I don't want to look. Oh, you mean to show us now?
Like. No, you.
Me.
No, not now.
Okay. I don't get that.
On our Discord.
Okay, on the Discord.
Sandy and I chat in private a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We don't just meet up once a week here.
No,
This isn't scripted.
He's another one of my little bros.
We are friends, and we do talk outside of Left Past 10.
Right. Of course, we're not scripted. How can we scripted?
Does this sound scripted?
No. And if Andrea is here, we would definitely know it's not scripted.
Did you see my episode the other night, Monday night, where I was talking about parasocial relationships? You were in the chat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was very open for me. Like, I was saying shit that I have never said outside of my own, like, really, it's things you think or are doing. motives you have for your actions that you're like, I would never tell people this is really why I'm doing this. And I just said it all. Is
Listen,
that crazy? Is that
no,
like
listen,
tacky or?
everybody, I've been doing this 8 years and everybody knows everything about me, about
Yeah, but this was
whatever.
stuff that this is like 10 years on, and I just never would have,
Well,
15 years
you're
ago, never
you're
would have been
changing,
like,
you're maturing, you're ripening with age.
well, I did it in terms of this is all of us. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, we
yes.
all do this shit.
That's how I do it. When I talk about something, other people have had the same experiences. We all have these common things. Like we've all probably, when I was talking about my house, it wasn't just about me because we all live somewhere. Everyone lives somewhere. So everyone has a propensity to have rotted wood or mice or mold. And that was what was happening in the chat tonight. People were talking about it because we all live somewhere. Even if you live in a yurt. I mean, people live somewhere.
See, and this is a good point.
Tents.
And actually, this is, and in doing that, it means that
Mhm.
I'm better than everybody else too. So
Stop
that's
it.
not true.
Okay, wait. I have to play
Not
Andrea. Oh,
true.
and here comes Matt again, Matt
That's
talking
not
about
true.
himself. That's
I
Andrea.
am not
Oh,
better than everybody else.
but she loves to fuck with you about it. Oh, here comes Matt. Yep, we're
Tell me
gonna go
about it. She's
there.
probably gonna drop in any second just to get a couple of shots
Right?
in.
Yeah, I miss her
Zingers.
tonight. And Jake, I mean, he didn't even text back. I'm going to have to wait. Nope.
They're busy.
Nope.
But no, I mean that.
People have lives. I understand.
So what I
They
did was I sort of like segued into the actual segment being about parasocial relationships without, I didn't advertise it that way, but I've got another episode planned and we're going to do it the same way in the hopes that people will be like, oh, this is going to be about. This time we get it. We know this is part 2.
Okay.
And so we'll see, though. We'll see.
Okay.
But we started with fictional parasocial relationships, and we're going to move into nonfiction, I guess you would say.
Well, I'm bringing on Carolyn Baker, who is the grande dame of my genre, to talk. She's a psychologist for Friday night. So
Oh,
anybody
cool.
that feels the need, it'll be interactive. She's been on my show many times. She's an author. She's written many, many books. But I'm bringing her on Friday night because I need her. And I think if I need her, and she's also a progressive, and she's older. She is really the grand dame, like I said. But that's what I'm doing Friday night.
Nice.
I'm bringing her
Right
on.
on.
Yeah. So
Um,
anybody that really needs it, and it is an interactive chat that feels like they might need some support with what's coming up January 20th and what we are looking at, Carolyn, and collapse and climate and all that. Carolyn will be with us. She's a psychologist.
Alito spoke with Trump shortly before Supreme Court filing. Justice Samuel Alito spoke with President-elect Donald Trump not long before Trump's lawyer asked the Supreme Court to delay his sentencing
Of course.
following his conviction for the hush money payments. But
Of course.
so that's my off the cuff comment earlier about it's all bullshit. That's what I meant was we can stop looking for the nuance. There is none. We can stop looking for their reasoning. There is none. We can start looking at the consequences, whether we're predicting them or I mean, this is his second time doing this. We can look at the first time. So tomorrow I want to do all of that.
Okay. Well, I'll be there. I'm going to probably end up getting up early like usual. And I've now got my mornings with the Eager Beaver, True North Eager Beaver from Canada. And then I'll segue into you. Then I'll get up and do my shit. Where's Canada? It's like up there.
Oh yeah, America's Cowboy Hat.
It's a 2-hour drive from me. Used to be 15 minutes when I lived up in Buffalo. Now it's 2 hours. So, yeah. Well, I'm getting antsy, so we're gonna have to end this by 12
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm starting to get that.
I could sit here for another 3 hours just
Well, we
trying to
know you
think
could.
about what Jesus could do to
No,
really be like,
you're
dude,
not
that's
going.
it. You can go.
No, tonight we're ending the show, and because you have a show tomorrow and you have to prepare for it. You don't want to sit here all night.
I'm ready to go. I just kind of need to I have a big day tomorrow. So I have jury
Yes,
duty.
you do. Yeah, tell us now. You weren't picked. You just have to show up.
I was
And
picked.
oh,
I
you
already did
were
that. Yeah, I already
totally
did
picked.
that point. Yeah.
You were totally picked. How did I miss that? You said you had it, but I guess
It was
I
Monday. I had
glossed
to
over.
go
You
in.
totally did it.
And
Jeez.
here, look in the private chat. I can't say this, but
Okay. Oh boy. So you really got to sit on a jury. Well, I think
look
that
at
you're
that.
probably good for it.
I
Oh
know.
shit!
I know. I was like, what?
It's because of what you look like.
They said small town, lot of crime, and I was like,
Oh
fuck.
shit!
Okay.
No. Oh my god,
But
that's
it's not
great.
going to affect my schedule.
Hi, Nadia.
Oh,
Let
here.
me see.
Read that.
For comics, I got Kafka's Die Verwunderung Ill by Corberan and
Wervadelung.
Horn.
Wervandelung.
Verwunderlung. Verwunderlung.
The V is
And
a W and the W is a V, which makes it even worse.
Verwunderland.
Wervandelung ill.
Corberan and Horn. Camus's Letendre. And by Fernandez and Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale.
This is where we need like an audio super chat or like an audio comment, right? Where we
Nadia
can play it instead of
her own.
reading it. Yeah.
Well,
but thank you for the
I
comment.
always like to make the joke about
14
Jennifer
months.
and I, when we would go over Russian research and all, and how we were pronouncing all the words and constantly, I mean, embarrassing ourselves for all those years. But we tried. We
had a recent show where I did what I just did, and I was like, Sandy, look at the private chat. And you did. And the next day, my brother called me and was like, what was in the private chat? I gotta know. And I told him, he was like, oh.
It's private. Sorry.
I was like, yeah,
it wasn't. It's private.
It wasn't like private.
It's private. No. My life is an open book. Too open. It's too open. For fuck's sake, you look up on Google and it's exactly where I am. I mean, I don't even know how do you get that out of there?
Yeah. We will be looking at the positive aspects every time we look into it. Every time we talk about parasocial relationships on my show, we will be noting the positive. It's not, look, first of all, if it's natural, then it's not bad. And I talked about this Monday. It's, you strengthen it by, it's just like when you're afraid, that's fleeting. That's a fleeting reaction or emotion. But if you dwell on it and hold on to it, that's on you. So like there are ways, and there's degrees of fear, of course, but I'm just saying, like, if you're on social media, you're interacting with people or following people, and you don't know, that's parasocial. They might not follow you back. That's parasocial. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not abnormal unless you're sitting there 24/7 talking to them and they never say anything back to you. And now you have an obsessive compulsive like codependency. You know what I mean? Like you can get a little unhealthy, and then it can get very unhealthy.
Well,
but if it's natural, in my mind, like being angry, like I had a therapist when I was a younger person, like, a teenager, and they were like, well, you got to try not to be angry. And I was like, dude, why do you get angry if you're not supposed to be angry?
Right.
It's
why
like,
is it there?
It's like, why am I raking my yard every October? Like, if the leaves weren't supposed to fall off, you know what I'm fucking saying? These leaves are supposed to be on the fucking ground. What are we doing?
It's an emotion. We have it. I was angry today, which you've taken away doing this show. I was
You're
really
welcome.
angry today. I
What'd
was.
you get mad at? Can you talk about it?
Everything online because of the
Oh, yeah.
fires and them fucking morons, with their conspiracy bullshit and just everything was bothering me. Everything was bothering me because I get triggered on Twitter, and that's why I hardly go on there. I never get triggered on Blue Sky, and I
It's
can't. I now have my phone completely away from me at night. I don't look at it because it's an addiction, and you want to look at it. You want to look at this. You
you
have to
gotta
look at
get
this app
the
and that.
activate the app to give you that weekly report.
Yeah, you told me
I
about
used my
that.
phone 8 minutes a day last week.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, but
You
see,
know
I
what I
have a
do?
family chat. We're always talking to each
Fuck
other
all
now.
that. I tell my
No,
family,
this
"Get me
is
out of this group chat right
I
now.
have
What are you
to.
fuckers doing?"
Yeah,
I
but I
am
have to. This is my mom, my brothers, and
'cause
my
you
daughter.
started it.
No, I
Well,
didn't
that's
start
different.
it,
That's not
actually.
using a
We love
phone,
each
but
other.
that's different.
And if my mom's 90, we
'Cause the
have to.
app will tell you you were on TikTok an hour a day, you were on Twitter an hour a day, and mine is like you were not on these, right? But if you got your weekly report and it said you use your phone 3 hours a day, here's how, and it was just talking to your kids, that's totally fine. My thing is I was like scrolling through shit. I could be doing a million other things, and it was just like, oh shit, an hour's gone by. What was I doing? I
Right.
was looking at Norm Macdonald being funny for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to do that. So what I do is
No.
I put my phone down. I'm also really efficient about my inboxes and all that stuff. Really efficient. Have my laptop open working, so I know if I have an email.
You're
But like I
really
put my phone down in another room and then leave that fucking room, leave that floor of my house and just totally forget about it. And I'm like, oh shit, I
Oh,
haven't looked at my phone all day like the 90s.
right.
Remember
Before we had the
when
phones.
and
We didn't
everything
have a
before
phone.
it
No.
you guys do not have to just because we have them doesn't mean you got to be locked into them. So
No, but it's hard. You have to move, you have to change that habit. That's what Twitter did to me. I was never on Twitter before a couple years ago. I had an account, but I never looked at it. All of a sudden, I got on there and it became a habit that I didn't like. I like Blue Sky. I can walk away from it, but I really have to. So I did. I did make that move.
I love Blue Sky. What if Jesus came back
There is no free will.
and you were like,
That's a
Jesus,
hell.
thanks for free will, and he went and like let's say Jesus would like kind of snicker at you all the time, be like, and you're like, what? And he goes, nothing. You'd be like, you can go. You're gonna be a dick.
uh,
He's like, I'm
You
not
know,
being a dick. I just thought it was funny. It's like,
I
nah.
would debate that with Keith because I have a hard time with there is no free will. We are all pre-programmed. I'm pre-programmed to take a sip of this. Mhm. I don't know. That's a rabbit hole and a half. Forget it.
I do.
Free will.
I do think though that's what really triggers me is when people are like, "Don't get upset," and I'm like, "Something happened that was upsetting. Can
Yeah,
we address that without you
right.
accusing me of being overreacting or something like that?" It's not like now if somebody said, "Okay, look, dude, every time a bird chirps, you flip out. Calm down." You're right. There are, and that's a stupid analogy, but you know what I mean. It's like at
Yes.
some point you have to know going
Good
into certain
night.
situations, you might flip out, check it at the door or whatever.
Right.
But like if something happens in life and you're like, God damn it, that's fine. Get
But
mad,
you don't
be
want
upset.
someone to tell you how to react or how to behave. I hate that. I don't like that either. Like, stand, stop. I don't like that.
I used to work with somebody who was
Or
always going, don't be so defensive. And I'm like, you're
yeah,
putting me on
yeah.
the defense, jerk off. I don't want to swear,
Or
but
somebody that says, "Well, I really don't wanna say this, but" right? There's
yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
much of that bullshit. Oh god, I can't
I don't want to
stand
have to say this, but
But
oh,
yeah,
why don't you just shut the fuck up?
yeah, don't even open your mouth.
That's like when Jen Cougar
Oh,
says, "Oh no, everyone's gonna get mad at me." Well, then shut up.
shut up. Yeah. I
You already
I
know that.
really, I never watched
I'm
them.
better than everybody else. That's what he's really saying.
Yeah. Well, I never watched them, so this whole thing that's going on,
Never
I guess
watched the
not
main show.
really. No, I like, what's his name? Ayarola and the other people, but I really didn't, and I know that I saw it pass by my YouTube that David Pakman had him on,
Oh,
and I think
yeah,
that what
he's
is the
going to.
headline saying? "Dude, what are you doing?" I think it said like that, "Dude,
So,
what are you doing?" I didn't see it. I have to see it. That's gotta
look,
be comic relief right
this is
there.
the thing. Cenk Uygur will not talk to Sam Cedar or Emma Vigeland because they're establishment partisan hacks. His words.
Oh,
David Dole was literally just photographed with Joe Biden in the Oval Office.
right.
So, but I think that
Uh,
I I don't know. It's those conversations generally aren't they're either unproductive or just totally meh.
well, I didn't
Nothing
watch
comes
it.
out of it.
I didn't watch it. I saw it. It went through YouTube because today I was listening to more weather things and
I
science,
sent
nerdy
him
stuff. Yeah.
I sent him an email saying, "This is what I want to talk about if you come on." And of course I said, "Look at all the people on the Young Turks who have been on my show.
Oh.
Ask them.
Oh.
Ask John, JR,
Yeah, but you were the
Dr.
guy that
Richie.
brought on all the
Ask them
mods.
all. Ask them all." Yeah, okay, well, John came on like 2 days later. Know what I'm saying? Like, ask
Yes,
Jordan, ask all these
that's
people,
right.
ask them all. What am I gonna do? That's look at my content. When have I been bad faith? Give me a break. This is silly.
No, you're a good
So
interviewer.
so then I didn't hear back. So I followed up and I said, I'm a harsh critic and I don't have a lot of followers, which I guess is why Jank won't come on the show. But here's you know what I mean? Saying like, because you're doing it for fucking clicks, dude, or
Yeah.
whatever, right? So I say, here's a sample question. And I said, I don't really know who's looking at these emails, but here's a sample question. Can you at least put this question in front of him, whether he comes on the show or not? Because I think he needs to see this question and no one's asking him. And they got right back to me and said, yeah, we'll show it to him. I'll talk to him about coming on. And I was like, okay. And they signed it. Now I know who it was and everything that sees those
Mhm.
emails. Now I was like, all right.
Hmm.
Because I'm going to have questions with, it's not going to be, Jake, tell us what's going on, man. Well, you said this. What do you mean? It's not going to be
Yeah.
that. I'm
No.
going to say, have you considered this? Have you? And if you have, where's your train of thought go?
So
Because
you really think
you're
that's gonna
digging your
happen?
heels in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
I mean, I have no idea.
I was thinking of making a goofy thumbnail. I would never have him on, but I mean, but something about Cenk thinks climate change is a hoax, and
Hey, I mean,
for clicks, Matt, for
look,
clicks.
I did a whole segment analyzing some his anti-trans activist rhetoric last week.
Yeah,
I
well,
did a
that's
whole show.
important.
I
That's
clipped a
important.
video. It's doing okay as far as, in relation to my
Mhm.
other videos. And then Sam Cedar talked about the same studies that I talked about, but he did it in like a few minutes. And I sent the Majority Report my video and said, look, just play segments of my video.
Yeah, there you go.
You could talk about it loosely and not really
Oh.
get it right and mispronounce some stuff and not show the actual percentages per
Mhm.
100,000 people who participate, all that stuff. Or you could play like 5 minutes of my video and
There
share
you
my.
go.
I mean, I show you. I see you showing shit from CNN all the fucking time.
Right.
What about
Matt
mine?
Matt NN. Okay, 11:56. Let
I
us
know I'm just sort
I
of
am
milking it.
no, I'm ready to go. My back is killing me.
What
And
if Jesus came back and said, "I don't know, Sam Cedar's kind of dull"? Be like,
what if
dude,
Jesus came back and waved a magic wand and fixed my spine? Would I like Jesus then? Oh,
okay,
please.
You can go if you want. I'll be the last man standing. No
Are you
problem.
really going to stay on? Okay. All right, everybody.
For
Well,
a minute.
I am saying good night. Matt, I love you. I'll see you in the morning in your chat.
Cool. Yeah.
Everybody,
See you then.
don't forget, and I am back on Tuesday night also with last week in collapse, but I spell it C space O space LL. I have to do that because YouTube won't they don't like the word collapse. But
Okay.
I'm going through the whole year in events, weather events and climate events, environmental events. So I'm going to do that next Tuesday. So I will be back on Tuesday nights. I took my break and I think I'm all right. But I'm still going to do the Sunday pajama show. But don't miss Friday with Carolyn if you need support. Wait, what is that? Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Bye, Sandy.
It was fun. Love you.
See ya.
Good night.
Yeah, I just take a second to let you know what I have going on this week. This really cool development for Friday's show. So first of all, tomorrow's Thursday. I was going to do a show, or I still am. I'm going to do a show with a quick follow-up to my show from Tuesday where we talked about tariffs and Trump's weirdness and what tariffs actually are and what he thinks they are and what could happen. I'm going to do a follow-up to that tomorrow. And we're going to talk about a Trump appointee. And then we're going to wrap up the show talking about these unelected advisors and what that means. And, sort of an oligarchy, right? Kind of is an oligarchy. So we'll talk about that too. But at the last minute, I invited on Mayor Mondale Robinson to come on and talk about his new project, which I want everyone to check out. This is just kicking off. Mondale's a friend of the show. He's been on here several times. Mondale has worked on more campaigns than anyone I know. And not just in the United States. He knows what he's doing when it comes to electoral politics. He's an expert. And so if he has a new project that's anything about empowering people and canceling grifters, I'm there because he doesn't launch a project just to be like, oh, I have a new web page. It's not that. So that's tomorrow. That's going to be cool. I make it a point to bring on people that I think are worth listening to. I don't just go on air to talk. And I had a show this past year where I had Mondale, Marcus Farrell, and Benjamin Dixon come on the show because their clickbaity political thirst trap podcast was on hiatus. And so I said, well, I'm tired of waiting around for them to do a new episode. Let me get them on the show. And so I brought them on and just sat back. People are in the chat going, this host really knows how to just let the guest cook. But like my whole ulterior motive was to bring these people on to have an episode of their show. So I was, of course, just like, I don't really have much to say. And there was the topic and I was asking questions periodically, but mostly I was just like, let them go. Then in our group chat after that, they said, we're getting the band back together, essentially. Not those words, but they were like, we got to start doing our podcast again. It was like 2 episodes later, Mondale quit TYT live on air. So I'm not taking credit for that. But you can see how when I say I'm bringing people on that I feel like they're worth listening to, and we all need to be paying attention to what they're doing and what they're saying, that proves my point. I'm not the guy to get up here and go, I was telling you guys, I've been telling you guys, I've been saying for a year now. I'm not that guy. But believe me when I tell you that if I'm bringing somebody on this show, it's because I think they're worth your time. And that is a case in point. I could take credit for stuff. I'm not taking credit for anything. I'm very glad to have been the guy that got clickbait to get back on air, whatever they do. But look where it led. It's a pretty big moment. So everyone's listening to the guy that I thought it was worth listening to. So you better believe we're having him back on the show to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. And that's tomorrow. Now, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, I was just going to do a casual lie detector show. If you don't know what that is where I tell stories. One of them's a lie, and you have to guess which one it is. And we're still doing that. We are still doing that. Donald James, you did. That's your deep cut right there. It was Donald James X. It said, we're all watching the same shows. Why don't they just do one show? So we have so yeah, that's another guy who knows who you should be listening to. Me and my friends. So I'm doing the lie detector. It's going to be fun. Trust me. If you've never hung out for one of those episodes, it is fun because it's just fun. It's fun. We listen to the stories and then you guys vote on it. And I always win. And it's not cheating. I always win. So, but now I have a guest on coming first. His name is Al Gordon. Anybody familiar with Al Gordon? This man is responsible for being a part of the comics that I read as a child that were most impactful on my life. He is a legend. This guy was inking and writing some of the best comics, the most impactful comics on my my life and my desire to make comics. I discovered when I was a little kid, my grandparents, the house my mother grew up in was a block away from the house I grew up in. And when I say the old neighborhood, that's what I mean. And so I would go to my grandparents' house like every day, but I was afraid to go in the attic. There's this long staircase with this door at the top, and I was just freaked out. But when I finally got up the nerve to go up there one day, I don't know what made me do it. Probably just boredom. Not Al Gore, Al Gordon. Gordon, two first names. When I finally got up the nerve to go up there, I found a couple of boxes of Silver Age comics, like from the 60s and 70s. Blown away. Knew about comics, liked comics, was into watching Super Friends on TV or whatever. I spent, first of all, I didn't give a fuck if there were ghosts in that attic or not. I was up there all the time, and it was hot up there in the summer. You could be up there and it's like suddenly like 110 degrees and I'm just up there reading comics. Didn't care. I was reading those comics so much. And this is like Neil Adams. These are famous comics. You look at them and you go, oh my God, like this is why comics exist, because of these exact books. But then I would go to the comic shop and I was like, nah, it's not the same. It's different now. I mean, I like it. I like comics. I buy comics. And then I saw this one comic that was just called Justice League. It was after Justice League of America and before what became Justice League International. But Justice League and Justice League International did something to me, changed my chemical being, my chemical makeup. And I knew this is my generation's version of the box of comics that I found in my grandparents' attic. This is what I'm supposed to read. And it immediately spoke to me in a way that things don't speak to me. I actually don't like that phrase. I don't go, oh, it really speaks to me. Yeah, it's a fucking shirt, buddy. Okay. It's that. I'm being cynical, but when I found these comics, Justice League, I was like, okay, this is amazing. And I actually started to really care about who made them. In every issue, I would look at the credits, whereas before I was kind of looking at the credits like, well, who drew it? You know? So now it's like all that stuff matters. I'll go back and look at all the comics that I read from back then and go, yeah, there's a writer, artist. This guy did the breakdowns. This guy did the inks, the lettering, the color, all that stuff. It's very important. I love it. I'm such a nerd. I can't read a comic without counting the panels. How many panels are on each page? How many letters are in a word balloon? Like, I'm a nerd about all that stuff. Big time. And so this is when I really was like, well, who's like really, because the artist, the guy drawing it, that's huge, but who's inking it? Who's making, as a commercial artist right now, I'll tell you, one of the most important things in the design world is making it production ready. You can have the best designs in the world. You can come up with the best graphics in the world. If it's not going to work in production, so what? So in my mind, the penciler is the guy who does the pencils is like, okay, there's no comic without that guy. But the pencil's art isn't exactly production ready without the inker. And the inker on those comics was Al Gordon. He's coming on the show. I'm afraid I'm going to cry when he's on. I'm afraid I'm going to be like too emotional. But it's going to be fucking awesome. So, a couple of really great guests tomorrow. Mondale Robinson, then Al Gordon Friday night. If everything goes according to plan. If not, we'll have him back on another time. Go back and check out the episode with Jeff Wiggins from Monday night. Jackson White was supposed to be on. I've scheduled him to come back on for the second part of Online Media, where politics news meets pop culture, and we will segue into another, an evolution of our discussion on healthy and unhealthy paranormal relationships. I don't think there are healthy paranormal relationships. They say Casper is a friendly ghost. That's a little weird. I mean, was he like a kid? Was Casper the friendly ghost like an adult or a kid? What the fuck was going on there? Parasocial relationships. We'll be talking about that. Anyway, and once again, I'll, open up to everyone and tell you my own personal experiences, how I realize, recognize, and deal with those, for better or worse. So yeah, anyway. Oh, and then next week, I'm lining them up and knocking them down. We're going to be talking about the documentary Losing Puerto Rico. It's Tuesday morning right now. We're going to have the co-directors on for that. So that'll be good. Anything else anybody wants to talk about right now, real quick? Got any silly questions? When you got me here, it's 12:10. I really should go to bed. I got to be on air soon. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Tell me you want me to end the show without saying you want me to end the show. LD9K. Look at anybody have any questions? Good night, everyone. It's fucking awesome. Oh, God, this is so great. Yes, I have. Where Superman is raised Russian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. It's good. I could just play the hopeless host for the next hour. I could just sit here going, guys, I just think we're at a place right now where there's nothing we can do. I mean, please hit like and subscribe. And keep thinking, everyone's like, we got to organize locally. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's going to work. There's a lot of suggestions out there, and I just keep saying, oh, good luck. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, by the way, if you have any super chats, send them in now. But I think mainly what we all need to do is just realize there's, we lost, and it's different now. I think it's going to be tough, and people give me suggestions, and I'm just like, I don't think that's going to cut it. I mean, I don't know, but, share this video. And become a member, and join my Discord, and we'll keep talking about how none of this is going to make any difference ever. Follow me on social media where you get a lot more non-uplifting rhetoric.